common question that comes up is how much should I charge for my products and services? What pricing makes the most sense? And it's not a simple answer because it will depend on two things. What is the funnel structure that you are planning to use? And what is your income? What is your revenue goal that you're looking to achieve? Because a low ticket offer is going to generate a lot more work / require a lot more funnel strategy than perhaps say a high ticket offer. And to demonstrate what I mean, I'm going to use my funnel projection software that I use for my client strategy sessions and simply show you. So here's what we're going to do. For this, we're going to do a very basic funnel that has an opt-in page, a sales page that leads to an order form, and then a thank you. We'll have some traffic that we will use to drive to that initial offer page, and we're going to map this out. Now, what we'll do is we'll quickly add some example products. This will be product, we'll just do this, product A, and we'll say this is like your self-liquidating offer, $7. A self-liquidating offer is typically a really low ticket offer that's meant to help break even on the advertising costs, the paid advertising costs that you might be using to drive traffic to the funnel. Now, typically you would factor in like a refund rate and product costs and all that, but for simplicity, we're just going to say it's a $7 product, keep it like that. We're also going to have a product that is, let's say, $47, and we will do a product that's a bit more pricey, let's say $150, and we'll do a product that is, let's go $497, and let's do a product, what was I at, E? Let's do a product for $997. So we've got A, B, C, D, E, 47, 150, 497, 997. So that covers the gamut of potential pricing that we would be looking at. So from here, let's do a sales page that leads to an order form, and then eventually to a thank you page. And just like that, you have a really, really basic funnel that has traffic to an opt-in page, from the opt-in page to a sales page, to an order form, to a thank you page. Okay, and a funnel versus a website. I have a video on my YouTube channel at Funnel Systems Success, Funnel Success Systems, and you can take a look at that video there. But for the most part, it's pretty straightforward. It's just a step-by-step process. Now, let's pick our traffic source. So let's say we are going to use Facebook ads. Oh, Facebook ads. And we will use this. And let's say we're driving 100 clicks a day, so 3,000 a month, and we are doing it for 50 cents a click. Okay, so we've got our Facebook that's leading to an opt-in page. Now the opt-in page, obviously there's a whole bunch of different conversions that comes to lead generation. I would say, I typically aim for 35 to 40% for an opt-in for lead magnets, but let's be conservative and let's say 20% opt-in rate. And from that, we've got traffic that opts in, they leave their email. From there, they land on a thank you page. That's also a sales page for our offer. And that offer will be, let's say, the $7 one. And because it's a low price offer, typically you're looking at 10 to 15%. Let's say 15%. Let's be optimistic. Okay. And then from there, let's say 100% of people that land on that order form go on to purchase, even though we know there would be some drop off and we would need abandoned cart, email follow-up sequences, etc. But for the all intents and purposes, a very simple funnel. So we're going to pop down to the bottom right here. We're going to click simulate, and we're going to see what kind of return we would be looking at if we were spending paid advertising money to drive people to an opt-in page to eventually purchase a $7 offer. And as you can see here, we would actually be losing $870 per month based off of spending $3,000, or actually I should say $1,500 a month on Facebook advertising. Now, don't focus on this number here. The actual number we want to be looking at is this return on ad spend. The goal of paid advertising is to get your ROAS, your return on advertising spend, to at least 1 or above. Because if you have hit at least 1 or above, it means for every $1 you spend, you're making at least $1.01 back. So you could spend all the money in the world and you won't be losing money, all things considered, because you are profitable. If it's under $1, it means for every $1 you spend, you're actually losing money. So this is based off of these numbers. The reason why I show you this is because it emphasizes the impact that this low ticket price has on how well your funnel needs to convert. Because it's $7, it either means we need to get the ad cost significantly lower or get the conversion rate of the opt-in page much higher, etc. So for example, I'm going to duplicate this scenario, and then we're going to pop into it. And let's see what would happen if the Facebook advertising spend was, let's go here. What if we got this from 50 cents down to 30 cents? And we close it. Now let's take a look at how this affects our simulation. And now you can see that the return on ad spend predictably is now much better, but it's still not at 1. However, we're only losing $270 per month based off of this traffic volume. What does that mean? Well, let's say we had it, the Facebook cost per click got down to 30 cents. And what if we got the conversion rate up to 25%? So an increase of even 5%, once again, affected our profit and our return on ad spend. And like I said, I usually like to get it up to 30% for my lead magnets. So if we were to hit 30, just like that, you now have a profitable funnel. Now you might be thinking, well, that's only $45 per month in profit. What's the big deal? Again, the return on ad spend is over $1, which means for every $1 we spend, we get 5 cents back. So theoretically, we could generate $1,000 per month in passive profit just by spending enough, essentially spending almost what, 900 and some dollars on ads. And then that little bit of difference, you get what I'm saying. You could spend enough on your ads to generate $1,000 worth of 5 cent return on ad spends. But I'm complicating things a bit here. Let's go back. Let's delete this. And what if we went back to this initial scenario? Load that up. And what if instead of, we keep the ad spend at 50 cents, and instead of hoping to improve our conversion rate, what if we still kept that same conversion rate on the lead magnet, but what if we got this to $47 and we used a more conservative sales conversion of 2%? So we simulate this, and as you can see, it is bleeding when it comes to return on ad spend. So now you can see it's when you talk about a $7 offer, a $47 offer, in order to be profitable, you really need to have additional upsells, downsells, order bumps to get your average cart value up. Without that, you are going to be very hard pressed to generate a profit on paid advertising. And I feel like this is why a lot of people tend to move towards organic social media style traffic, so they don't have paid ads because their pricing is too low. Here's what I mean. Instead of $47, what if we jumped up to $497? If we simulate based off of that same number, that same 20%, because the lead magnet's not changing, but now we are driving people from that lead magnet to the sales page right there just by charging $497. Obviously, you'd still need to have a really well-written sales page that explains the benefit and advantages and features of your offer, but a $497 offer converting at just 2%, 2 out of every 100 people purchasing would be a profit of $4,464. But more importantly, the return on ad spend is almost 4, which means for every $1 spent on paid ads, we generate $4 back. So now I could spend unlimited amounts of money, because if I offered you $4 for every $1 you gave me, how much money would you give me? You'd probably empty your bank account. And that is where you see businesses who are spending hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars on paid ads because they know their numbers in advance. And this is extremely conservative. Like I said, this is 50 cents per click. If we were to change this back, and let's say we got even down to 40 cents a click. And I mean, obviously, with the right traffic source, TikTok, Snapchat, YouTube ads, you could get down to 25 cents, 30 cents a click. But even at this, we could see that obviously the numbers continue to skyrocket. Now, again, in the previous lesson, I talked about why we don't want to just jump right into offer creation. This is exciting. Don't get me wrong. However, what we first want to do is test the offers, which is why we identified several offers we want to test out before we created our own offer. So in that case, we wouldn't be driving people directly from the opt-in page to the sales page. We would actually have a break right here, and we would need to put a bridge page in the middle. So we would do something like this, and you would have your lead magnet or your registration page for your lead magnet, take them to a thank you page, and then that thank you page would have a call to action. And this is what's known as a bridge page. And then that bridge page would lead them to a sales page. So in this case, let's say we had an affiliate offer or a joint venture partnership of some sort. What we would do is we would be testing whether or not this market has buyers in it. This is what I mentioned in that last video. A buyer is a buyer is a buyer. So before we spend time building out a course, building out a membership, let's see if there's buyers in this market who'd even be willing to spend $497, $47, you name it. So we would want to find an affiliate offer that indicates that people in this market are willing to spend that much. And all we're doing is from this lead magnet, sending them to the bridge page. And then on this bridge page, we're going to deliver, whatever they were requesting, but we're going to let them know, hey, by the way, if you are interested in a solution for this problem, you'll want to check this out because it has this benefit, this benefit, this benefit. Click the link on this page to go learn more. And now we're driving traffic to an affiliate offer. We're seeing if it converts. And if it does, now we have the confirmation that we need to go build out a $497 course, a $150 course, etc. So hopefully this answers the question about what to charge for your price. It's all going to depend on how you plan to structure your funnel. And this doesn't even take into consideration the email marketing follow-up of the other 98% of people who did not purchase this product. And now you have additional campaigns and follow-ups for other offers. That's why in that previous lesson much earlier, we talked about why the need to find a market that has additional problems that you can find solutions for, to find a market that has up to $10,000 in potential financial consequences. Because if they face a $10,000 potential damage liability, would they be willing to spend $997 on a solution that could help them avoid that, remedy that, etc.? Probably. And now you're starting to see how the pricing flows. And I could do a whole course on pricing, but this gives you an idea of how we're going to structure the initial funnel for this case study to confirm, do we have buyers in this market? And then from there, we will build out a solution that covers off what we need in order to hit the $1,000 per month in passive income. If you found that video helpful and you would like to see the rest of the videos in this live case study, just visit the link below this video and get access right now. In the meantime, check out this video for more information.